What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you a Kaiba inspired update thanks to Maze of the Master. Today is the turn of Blue Eyes XYZ Hyper Cannon. So massive shout out to Joe who provided me with the combo behind this deck, and what I've kind of done is I've kind of said to Joe has been presenting me with these combos to prove that these kind of decks work, and I'm like, wow, okay, that's really kind of cool. And then I've kind of put a list together and adapted it to kind of get the most out of it in order to present it to you as well. So at the end of the video, I'll show you the combo that Joe mentioned and with the additional adaptations that I've made in order to kind of give it a bit more of an end board presence. But the deck is really kind of cool. It definitely has a pure Kaiba theme running through it, which is actually really nice to see, utilizing the brand new cards from Maze of Master. Unfortunately, I am currently away, which is why these are proxy cards I'm showing you, as I wasn't able to pick up the Maze of Master cards yet in my hand, but I definitely advise you picking them up if you do like the whole Kaiba theme of this build. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. So what I love about Blue Eyes so much is it's actually very simple to keep the engine of Blue Eyes itself relatively the same. So 2 Blue Eyes White Dragon and 1 Jet. If you ever find yourself looking for space to cut, you could cut 1 Jet Dragon down, but I do like how grindy that the Jet Dragon can provide to be. Then of course your main normal summon being triple Sage, backed up by triple Maiden of White and the 1 Master. Master is another one of them flex spots, but what I do like the option of is, and you'll see it in the combo, is you get to a point where you go either for a second Sage, which will you normal summon to search you out an Effect Veiler, or you go for Master, which would then allow you to add back the Sage from the graveyard, and that gives you the double Spirit play. Then of course you do play triple Wishes. Obviously the idea is that you want to be able to get your Sage to your Maiden to your Wishes, or to your True Light then to your Wishes, so you want to be able to play as many consistency pieces as possible, so that if you do get hit on a hand trap at any one of those points, you still have the option of hard opening up the other as consistently as possible. Then of course you've got the 1 Mausoleum and the 1 Raw, backed up by the 1 True Light and the 1 Majesty. All straightforward, all staple. This is pretty much the same as all of the Blue Eyes lineups that you will see. Moving on to the brand new X, Y, and Z cards, we are playing one of the brand new X Cross Cannon. So if you control a Light Machine Fusion monster or a Union monster, you get to special summon this card from the hand. During your main phase, you get to equip 1 appropriate Light Machine Union monster from your deck to this card as if it was equipped by that monster's effect. Also, you can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Light monsters, and you can only use each effect once per turn. We're then playing one of the old X Head Cannon, and the reason you play one of the old X Head Cannons is because off of the other brand new card, Union Activation, you send the old X Head Cannon to search out the brand new X Cross Cannon. A lot of X's and crosses and cannons. So this one lets you send a Light Machine normal monster or a Union monster from the hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, you add a Light Machine monster with the same attack but a different original name. So obviously both of these have 1800 from the deck to the hand. If you special on 3 Light Machine monsters at the same time while this card is in the graveyard, you get to banish it, add 1 monster with 3000 or less attack from your deck to the hand, and then immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon it. So the best thing about that is technically what you could do is when you bring back the X Cross, the Y Dragon Head, and the Z Zillion, is it actually allows you to search out a Blue Eyes and you get to treat 2 of them off for a Blue Eyes monster. Not that you would want to be doing that, but it's just kind of like a little nice interaction that you can do. We're then of course playing 1 of the Y Dragon Head and 2 of the Z Zillion tanks. Now of course you can play more of them if you are going down more of a heavy cannon route, but this is just trying to keep this engine at a minimum. So the Y Dragon Head is if this card is special summoned, you get to equip 1 level 4 Light Machine monster from your hand or graveyard to this card. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Light monsters. Once per turn, you can either target 1 machine monster you control, equip this card to it at a target, or unequipped it, and special summon this monster. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you get to destroy this card instead. And then of course with the Z Zillion tank, if this card is special, you get to equip 1 of your banished level 4 Light Machine monsters to this card. Also, you can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Light monsters. Once per turn, you can either target a machine monster you control and equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you destroy that card instead. And the last kind of cards you play for this entire engine is the 1 Union Driver and the 1 Union Hanger. Now, 2 additional unfortunate bricks that you have to add in, or you do decide to add in depending on the card you want to make from the extra deck, is the 1 Mannadium Reframing and the 1 Angel Statue Azaroon. Now, as a bit of a preview, the idea behind both of these cards is that as you're completing your combo, you lock yourself into light monsters. Of course, you can go into the Bajinki, which lets you detach 2 materials to discard your entire hand and draw 2 new cards, but that's not always going to be consistent for you. So that means the next best alternatives you can go for will be a Silo Hat Rabbit, and then you also get to make yourself a level 8 Synchro Monster. So the level 8 Synchro Monster you're going to be able to go for will be something like a Visas Aritara, which gives you the Counter Trapper's Protection. Or if you don't want to play this brick, you go for something like an Omega, and that is your light level 8 monster instead. Then for the hand traps, so moving on to the hand traps, we are playing triple Ash Blossom, followed up by triple Droll, double Ogre, double Veiler, and triple Imperm. So you can see you've got a lot of space for non-engine / hand traps if you want it as well. So that's it for the entire main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. So we start off by playing 1 XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon. This requires specifically X Cross, Y Dragon, and Z Zillium. It must first be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards from your field and or graveyard. And then once per opponent's turn, you get a quick effect to discard 1 card, then target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. You can banish this card from the field or graveyard and reveal 1 level 8 Light Machine Fusion monster in your extra deck, special summon up to 3 materials whose names are mentioned on it, but you're only going to be able to do that if you play the original A, B, and C pieces, so we're not doing that in this particular version. Then you do play the 1 Union Controller, so this requires a Light Machine monster plus Y Dragon or Z Zillion. Must first be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards you control. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you get to add 1 spell or trap from the deck to the hand that mentions Union Monster in its text, and you can only use the effect once per turn. You also then get a during the main phase once per turn effect to special summon a Light Machine monster from a Union Monster from the hand. Then the other 2 cards adapted just because of the involvement of this engine is the 1 Silo Hat Rabbit and the 1 Visas Aritara, which you'll see at the end of the video during the combo why you utilize these 2 cards. You can play another level 8 if you want to. You can also consider something like a Dawn Dragster because you do end the combo leaving the Union Controller on the board, and you can actually synchro into a Dawn Dragster if you want to, but we usually will use the Ancient Fairy Dragon to get you into a level 8, which can either be a Mega or in this case the Visas. Then, of course, you do play your 2 Blue-Eyed Spirit Dragons, and then its targets from that point on. So its targets are Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is going to be your main bridge in order to get you to your Union Hanger for all of your Union plays. And then you've got the 1 Azure Eyes, the 1 Ultimate Spirit Dragon, and the 1 Lightstorm Dragon to deal with back row. But this can be something like a Moonrose Dragon if you want to. You can consider Crystal Wing, but you will lock yourself under being able to special summon light monsters. So sometimes Crystal Wing can be a bit hit and miss. Then for the fusion monsters, of course, you've got your standard Neo and you've got your standard Blue Eyes Tyrant. And then, of course, you've got the 1 Hieratic Seals backed up by the 2 Spirit with Eyes of Blue. So that's it for the entire main deck. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be shuffling these up and I'm going to show you the basic 1.5 card combo that's going to get you everything you need from this particular hybrid. So we'll be back in a second. Here is the combo you're going to need to know in order to pilot the basics for Blue Eyes XYZ Cannon. So you're going to start off with your normal combo of normal summon down Sage, search you out your Maiden. Maiden's effect, grab you the True Light face up in your spell and trap zone. Turn Sage into Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Spirit with Eyes of Blue grabs you the Mausoleum. Activate the Mausoleum, target the Spirit, send Blue Eyes, and then get yourself out of the Dragon Lock by treating off the Spirit, bringing back Blue Eyes, and in turn bringing back Maiden. Now what you do here is you'll synchro summon these 2 together and get you into your Spirit. And before you go too much further, you're going to want to activate the True Light. This is going to then allow you to set you the wishes. And you're going to want to make sure you activate the wishes here, because after that point on, you're then going to get rid of the Mausoleum, and that's where the discard comes into play. So your True Light will set the wishes, you'll activate the wishes, discarding the random card in the hand, and this will then allow you to add the 2 cards of your choosing. Now the best one you're going to want to go for to be as defensive as possible will be your Majesty, and then for the level 1, you can either go for a Sage, which is what I personally prefer to go for, because my additional normal summon will then give me a guaranteed effect Veiler. Otherwise you would go with Master, and the Master would add back the Sage from the graveyard, and then it means in the future play you might be able to set yourself up with a Blue Eyes on the board. So you're going to use your additional normal summon first of Sage. This will then allow you to trigger this to grab you the effect Veiler. So now what you've got is you've got to keep in mind as well, you're still going to have 3 more random cards in the hand to add to this. So you've basically replenished your hand. And if any of them can become additional extenders, you'll be able to make a bit more future plays as well. So now what you're going to do is you're going to tag out the Spirit Dragon to go into your Ancient Fairy Dragon. You can use Ancient Fairy Dragon's effect to destroy the Mausoleum of White to grab your Union Hanger, and you're going to gain 1,000 life points. You then activate the Union Hanger. This will allow you to grab the brand new White Dragon Yearhead, and then you're going to use the effect of Ancient Fairy Dragon to special summon down the Yearhead. Then obviously off the White Dragon, this will allow you to equip a Union monster from the deck, and you are now currently locked for only being able to special summon light monsters from the extra deck. Now what you're going to do is you're going to use Union Driver's effect here to banish this in order to equip it with the Z Zillion Tank. Use Z Zillion Tank's effect to special summon itself to the board from the unequipped in it. And then what you'll do is you'll fusion your Y and your Z together. And then you're going to be obviously banishing these. You're then going to be able to get hold of the brand new Union Controller. So if this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you get to add a spell or trap from the deck to the hand that mentions a Union, or mentions specifically Union monster in its text. You can only use each of the effects once per turn. And then once per turn during your main phase, you can get to special summon a light, machine, normal, or Union monster from the hand. So if any of these extenders are a Union monster, you can extend from that point on. We're going to act as if they're not. So you're going to grab your Union activation. You then activate the Union activation to send a light, machine, normal, or Union monster from the hand or deck to the graveyard. And if you do, you add a light machine monster with the same attack, but with a different original name from the deck to the hand. So this will then allow you to send X Head Cannon, which is why you play the original, and this will allow you to add the X Cross Cannon. Then on top of that as well, you'll be able to utilize the X Cross Cannon. So if you control a light machine fusion or Union monster, you get to special summon this card from the hand. And then during the main phase, you get to equip one appropriate light machine Union monster from your deck to this card as if it was equipped by that monster by that effect. You can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except lights, which is absolutely fine because we already light locked ourselves with the Y Dragon. So you're going to summon down the Cross Cannon. You can also special summon it off of the back of the Union controller. But the idea is by special summoning it this way, you get to equip a Zillion Tank again. And Zillion Tank is not a hard once per turn, so you get to unequip it and summon itself to the board. On summoning the Z, you'll then be able to trigger the effect in order to equip the Y from the graveyard, from the banished zone to it. And then you get link both of these off, putting all three of these pieces back into the graveyard for a Silo Hat Rabbit. Silo Hat Rabbit will then allow you to grab the Angel Statue Azaroon, and then you'll be able to banish the X, Y, and Z from the graveyard in order to get you the brand new XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon. And then you get to synchro off your Sage and your Ancient Fairy Dragon into your choice of level 8 synchros that is a light monster. So if you want to rip a card from your opponent's hand and recycle your Union Driver, not that you really need to, you go for an Omega. But the one that's going to give you the most defense along the back row will be a Visas Aritara, as this will then allow you to grab the Vanadium Reframing. So then as you're ending your turn, you've got 3 unknowns, but you've got a non-target destruction off of the back of the Majesty. You've got the Azaroon that can summon itself and then negate a summon. You'll then have the counter trap of the form of the Vanadium Reframing, and because you control Visas, you get to negate and destroy. You get the non-target path of the Majesty. You've got the guaranteed effect Veiler on one of your opponent's monsters. And then, of course, you've got the ability that during your opponent's turn, quick effect, discard a card, target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. So you're pretty much getting a lot of back row, a lot of front row, and disrupting your opponent as much as possible. Anyway, that is it for the entire combo. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. Myself or Joe will be more than happy to answer them for you. For now, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.